my, I guess, summer pastor box. And so this is the summer pastor box unboxing. After a long day at the office, it came in and it was here. So I grabbed something to eat and now I'm ready to open it. Yeah, I just took a bobby pin out of my hair to open it. The things we do. Okay. Oops, almost upside down. Okay. Open other side up, y'all. Okay. Did it. Mornings with Tozer podcast is a 2-minute daily devotional from the writings of A.Z. Tozer. Available wherever you get your podcast. So, just a little plug for that. There is some salt water taffy in here, several pieces of it. Some of that wonderful yellow grass that everybody loves. Oh, okay. So there is some Tommy Bahamas body cream. Let's see. Smells nice. Let's see what's in this box right here. Okay, so keychain. Okay, it is the kind of keychain that you would need to make sure that you take out of your purse or your pocket before you go through security at the airport. It does have some of the small little ones, some nail files, all that good stuff right here. It does look like there's room to get it engraved right here. And so I'm going to put that back in here. I guess this would be a good plug item if you're looking for something for Father's Day gifts or something like that, or Men's Appreciation, or I don't know. I mean, hey, who doesn't need a miniature pocket knife? I'm like, I seen this right here that moves, and I was like, I felt like it should go like this. It does not pull out like a hand grenade pin. So, that would have made it fun. Okay. Okay, now on to some of the reading material that came in this box. Oh, another plug, Cultivate Friendship Across Cultures. The Colors of Culture. The Colors of Culture is at ivpress.com. 30% off promo code by Melinda Joy Mingo. Colors of Culture. The Chronicle of Grief. Finding Life After Traumatic Loss. Great book right here. Great resource. Great sharing gift. I know several friends who've lost a loved one, and so this is a great pass-along book. Eva was not breathing, pray. The text message was Mel Lewandowski's entry into a harsh reality of losing his 30-year-old daughter. Things would never be the same. How could he and his family cope with this devastating loss? In a narrative of grief, Pastor Merle Wenzer chronicles how his family struggled to survive the sudden death of their beloved daughter. In raw, vivid episodes, he describes the immediacy of the pain and the uncertainty of what comes next. In the agony of traumatic loss, Lorenzi apprehends the realities of love and life and offers insights on how to navigate our life's priorities before or after tragedy hits. So, there's this one. Mel Lorenzi is the senior pastor at Elmbrook Church in Brookersville, Wisconsin, and is Elmbrook's minister at large. Next, potentially super helpful, is the Church Recovery Guide. How your congregation can adapt and thrive after a crisis. This may potentially be very good, helpful reading because here in Texas we're still in crisis. But when a crisis hits, how will your church recover? Great plans, from natural disasters to pandemics, unprecedented troubles can leave churches reeling. The Church Recovery Guide outlines the practical steps you can take to help your church not only survive but also thrive in the aftermath of a crisis. Pastor Carl Vardis offers insights from his extensive experience in church ministry to help you think through reconnecting with your congregation, dealing with the financial repercussions, encouraging and supporting your staff, and reworking your church's technology and online strategy. So some of that actually can be helpful right now while we're still in time. So the Church Recovery Guide will provide the direction you need to help your church bounce back to full health and chart a path forward to even greater vitality. There you go. Oh. Mark Dever and Jamie Dunlap, The Compelling Community, Where God's Power Makes a Church Attractive. What does a community that testifies to God's power look like? God's people are called to togetherness and commitment that transcends all natural boundaries, whether ethnic, generational, or economic. But such a community can be enjoyed only when it relies on the power of God in the gospel. In The Compelling Community, Pastors Mark Dever and Jamie Dunlap cast a captivating vision for authentic fellowship in the local church that goes beyond small groups. Full of biblical principles and practical advice, this book will help pastors lead their congregations toward the kind of community that glorifies God, edifies his people, and attracts the lost. Not Done Yet, Beth Severson. Their journey is not over. Reaching and keeping unchurched emerging adults. Nuns claim no religious identity. Duns have become disillusioned and left the church. Research shows many young adults are landing in one of these two camps. But that's not the end of the story. A growing number of emerging adults ages 18 to 33 are tossing aside the nun or dun labels and are instead embracing a transformative Christian faith. Based on her extensive research, this is the second time we've heard extensive research. Based off of their extensive research, scholar practitioner Beth Severson outlines a model for how to engage and retain millennials and Generation Z in the life of a local church. Emerging adults are likely to experience spiritual transformation in churches that welcome them into the community, provide meaningful opportunities to make a difference, and invest in their development. Whether you're a senior pastor, a youth minister, a parent, or an educator, Not Done Yet will open your eyes to the generational barriers to vibrant faith while equipping you with insights to make your outreach to emerging adults more authentic and impactful. There you go. Oh, Christ-centered exposition, exalting Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount. Daniel Adkin, Holman reference, Christian Standard Bible. And so this is just an exposition-centered help and understanding the Sermon on the Mount. Y'all, if you don't know what exposition means, it's basically a great way to find some sermon outlines and sermon helps. It breaks down the Sermon on the Mount through key points derived, expository sermons derived from the points, and so this is a great resource for things like that. It's a great Bible study for the Sermon on the Mount. There are actually some reflect and discuss questions, and so this could be used for Sunday school. This could be used for a whole series. Do it for Sunday school. Use the reflect and discuss questions while helping the points. Help organize your expository sermon. This is just my letter to let me know it was going to be delayed. There are some awesome books and resources that we can count, and you can log on to Instagram and Facebook to talk about whatever we have. They were intended to include a custom pastoral box face mask or hand sanitizer, but they include sugar taffy anyway. I actually love face mask and would have thought it was hilarious. I actually used my Pastor Box branded little solo cup to dip my pencil, my markers in for my paintbrushes for Bible journey. Oh, this is for the ladies. And this is so that I can pretend that I'm MacGyver with a fancy keychain pocket knife. You know, the other day, just totally looking for something to get into the back of a drone so that I could open it and put any fresh batteries in. And, boy, yeah, I think that tip's going to be just the perfect size. So I may be taking this to the office to see if I can get into the back of the remote control for the drone so that I can put batteries in it and play with it. Not play with it. So that I can quality control test it. Flying it around the thrift store. Tune in Friday. It may or may not be on our live. 1 o'clock. All right. Ooh. We are not quite done. There are still books to go. Here, let's put these in here, y'all. One of my comments. Why? They just get everywhere. So, replicate. Disciple making requires leading people to Jesus and teaching them to be like him. But are you doing both? So, most churches are eager to grow, yet they rarely have a plan to help people become the kind of believers who multiply their lives. Pastors Robbie Gallaty and Chris Swan have encountered this problem throughout their ministry experiences. In Replicate, they outline how churches can establish and execute a strategy that will develop a vibrant culture that grows disciples who make disciples. Love that. You'll learn how to identify common obstacles that prevent disciple making and learn how to launch, lead, and replicate healthy disciple making groups. This comprehensive guide, I love that word comprehensive. I used it in the sentence earlier I made. This comprehensive guide provides the strategies and passions you need to help your church, both leaders and lay people alike, fulfill the Great Commission and see your ministry multiply. Replicate, multiply, both synonyms. How to create a culture of disciple making right where you are. I love the pay forward math we got right here. So year 1, you start with 12. Year 2, those 12 turn into 32. Year 3, those 32 turn into 65. I don't know how that works. Year 4, 65 turns into 126. Year 5, it turns into 255. Year 6, it turns into 787. And it suggests you do a challenge so that year 7, you have 1,167. And then in year 8, you have... Hold on, I need to make sure I'm reading this right. Okay. It looked like a 4 upside down, but it basically says year 8, you have about 1,500. And so, that is his exponential in a section called the introduction you can't skip. Forward, all those things. Key terms, disciple making, evangelism, discipleship, a disciple. What are those things? There are 32 chapters plus a summary plus 6 appendix, as well as a plug for some additional information. There are discussion questions so that you can treat this as a lesson itself. There's a summary. I love summaries that sum up what the whole thing was. Very interestingly enough, this book already comes pre-underlined. It's like part of the book. So it is divided up into 4 main parts: the problem with disciple making, the practice of disciple making, the process of disciple making, and the product of disciple making. One of the key things, I love acronyms, and it says the marks of a disciple, MARCS, the marks of a disciple. Page 231, real quick. Let's just see if they spell out what Marx means, because that's literally what one of the sections focuses on. Section, I believe it was 4. Section 4, most of the chapters are dedicated to different aspects of, I guess, their acronym for Marx. The marks of a disciple. So, the marks of a disciple: missional, accountable, reproducible, communal, and scriptural. Missional, accountable, reproducible, communal, and scriptural. So, 5 points of healthy discipleship groups, the marks of discipleship group. Have those 5 key points, and then the following chapters in section 4 will go on and point those out. Okay. Super excited about the last one. Don't worry, I'll show you too. But let's talk about this one. Sorry guys, I couldn't figure out how to turn my camera around on my laptop. I'll figure it out. Interwild. I feel like it's missing words, but it's called interwild. Exchange a mild and mundane faith for life with an uncontrollable God. Carlos Whitaker. It is an uncorrected proof, not for sale, so there may be typos. I'm not the best person to read for those, so I'm not the best person who proofreads my own papers. It is by the best-selling author of Kill the Spider. Yes. I don't know what that book's about, but that's a good sentence. So, Interwild. Experience the wild and wonder Jesus promises. Is it possible to break free from a safe, boring faith and truly live the abundant life Jesus promised? Yes. You are meant to receive the abundance God promises here and now. You are not meant to wait until heaven to experience His best. Even in the midst of our world's broken traumas and trials, you can learn to lower the volume of life and truly hear God. Experience what it means to speak God's word over your life for real victory. Discover how to pray His promises instead of praying over the problems. With his trademark humor and transparency, gifted storyteller Carlos Whitaker shares his personal struggles in coping with crippling anxiety and how the key to his freedom was rediscovering a wild faith. That key can be yours, helping you open the door to leave mild and enter wild. Carlos Whitaker is an author, speaker, worship leader, and self-professed hope dealer. He speaks at some of the largest churches in the country and at conferences including Orange Catalyst, MomCon, and many others. He is a People Choice Award winner and host of a popular podcast, and also the author of Moment Maker and Kill the Spider. He lives with his wife Heather and their 3 children in Nashville. This does sound very interesting, very hope-inspired book. I will say, as a pastor, I would just caution the whole, you are not meant to wait to heaven to experience God's best. You will absolutely not experience God's best until heaven. That doesn't mean that things can't get pretty good here on earth. What it does mean is until we're finally with the Father, we are going to experience life as He always intended it to be. So, just had to put that little disclaimer in there. I'll read this book and see maybe if it does, but keep that in mind. And now, the part that had me excited. Bum bum bum! The Ultimate Bible Character Guide by Gina Detweiler. Y'all, I don't actually know what this is, but it looked like a comic book. I love comic books. So I was like, look at this! This looks so fun. Okay, we're done with that. So, let's see. Oh, there is a blurb on the back. Fascinating characters, captivating stories, ultimate guide. This exciting encyclopedia profiles more than 150 Bible characters as you've never seen them before, with amazing full-color illustrations. I was right. It is amazing. And fascinating facts. Yes. Do you know who was possessed by demons, who never died, and who cut off the head of a giant? I don't know all this, do you? From the heroes to the villains, the mysterious to the supernatural, discover each and every fascinating story. Meet the Bible's amazing but true cast of characters and let their lives shape your own amazing story. This looks very fun. I love books with colored pictures. Oh. Y'all, see. Comic book! Told you! Okay. Anyone who thinks the Bible is boring hasn't read the Bible. I know, right? Been doing this Bible in 1 year journey, and some of those things I'm just like, The Bible can be enlightening, confusing, mystifying, clarifying, and life-saving, but it's never boring. It's history from God's perspective. It's a story of the human race, the story of us. And it's far stranger and more intriguing than you might think. The Bible is filled not only with captivating stories, but also with fascinating people. There are biblical characters that you may never have met, and you'll shed new light on those you did. Enoch and Elijah never died. In fact, in Scripture it says it itself, and they walked with God. Methuselah lived to be how old? 969. Joshua captured 31 kings. One Canaanite king was assassinated in the bathroom. David cut off Goliath's head after killing him. True that. People thought that it was the stones that killed him, but we don't know. But we do know that while David had Goliath on the ground, he took a sword and cut off his head. And then regardless of how many stones he was hit with or not, he ain't getting back up. Just saying. The prophet Ezekiel lay on his side in the street for a whole year. I feel you, Ezekiel. He was a little frustrated. King Xerxes gave a feast that lasted 180 days. It was ridiculous. That's how Esther became queen, because the current queen was like, haven't you partied long enough? I ain't coming anymore. And he got mad at her. Do you know that John the Baptist ate locusts, part of being a Nazarite? And on the night of his arrest, Jesus' sweat was like drops of blood. Knew that. But did you? So, in this book, you will meet the bad kings, the evil queens, the eccentric prophets, giants, and giant killers. Mysterious priests, lowly criminals, scheming spouses, faithful and unfaithful servants, supernatural beings, flawed heroes, and of course, the flawless Jesus, who came to redeem it all and set in motion the story's end. Now, to keep it super easy, the characters, are all 150 plus of them, are listed in alphabetical order. That means, hey, there's pictures. I have to show you guys. Oh my goodness. You can read it from front to back in alphabetical order, however you want to, or you can read them by order they fit in history. Pages 8 through 27 is a timeline of biblical characters. Or the table of contents, which is located on pages 6 and 7. So, this is all of the characters, so you can pick it out. But, ta-da! I don't know why this is probably my favorite book. Don't tell nobody. Actually, tell everybody. This is probably my favorite book. Okay, characters through the ages. You've got angels and demons. Michael, Gabriel, and Satan, the serpent. Age of the ancients. You've got Adam and Cain and Enoch and Eve and Abel, as well as Abraham, Sarah, Ham, Noah, Lot, Nimrod, Melchizedek, Hagar, Job, Ishmael, Leah, Esau, Rachel, Isaac, Judah, Rebecca, Joseph, Jacob, Benjamin, Aaron, Og, I'm not even, OG. The original OG! It's right here, guys. It's in there. We're going to learn about the original OG. Moses, Caleb, Pharaoh, Joshua, Miriam, Phineas. Yeah, he's there too. Barak, Rahab, Deborah, Balaam, Eglon, Jael. This girl. Oh, Jael, yes. Japheth, Gideon, Ruth, Abimelech, Boaz, Samson, Hannah, Naomi, Eli, Delilah. Saul, David, Abigail, Goliath, Jonathan, Samuel, Joab, Bathsheba, Solomon, the Queen of Sheba, smart lady there, Rehoboam, Asa, Absalom, Nathan, Jeroboam, Ahab, Naboth, Elisha, Jezebel, Drew, Jehoshaphat. Oh, there's a name. Talitha. Gonna have to look her up later. Elijah, Jehoram, Jonah. I love it. Jonah's picture is him in water. Sorry, y'all. Hosea, Hezekiah, Amos, Nahum, Isaiah, Uzziah, Isaiah. We still are in the Old Testament, y'all. So this is a bunch of other Old Testament, including the prophets Zedekiah, Nebuchadnezzar, Ezekiel, Josiah, Jeremiah, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Y'all, Jonah was in the water. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Plus, surely the Son of God in the flames right here. Xerxes, 180-day party. Haman, Esther. Y'all, she looks like she is ready to save her people. And the age of Jesus and his friends. So the age of ancients, I guess, is all Old Testament. The age of Jesus and his friends, you get some New Testament going on. Augustus, Herod the Great, Elizabeth, Zechariah, Ananias, Anna, Joseph, Nicodemus, Joseph of Arimathea, Cephas, Peter, Mary, Herodias, Pontius Pilate, Herod Antipas, John the Baptist, Barbarous, Jesus, Andrew, John, Jairus, Judas Iscariot. He looked kind of shady in this picture. Matthew, Mary and Martha, Mark, Lazarus. I have Lazarus coming up all wrapped up. James, the brother of Jesus, not to be confused with James, the son of thunder. I love that they put the son of thunder. Mary Magdalene, Stephen, Philip, a brainy apostle. How would you be described? That's what I'm saying. Samaritan woman, Thomas, Nathaniel, Zacchaeus, Herod Agrippa I, the age of early Christians and their challenges, Tiberius, Herod Agrippa II, Claudius, Paul, Nero, Barnabas, Ananias and Sapphira, Cornelius, Ilmius, Paulos, Luke, Priscilla and Aquila, Timothy, Silas, Titus, Simon Magus, Philip the evangelist, Lydia, and then the beginning. Y'all, this is really nice. I just noticed something. This is great for youth ministries. It'd be a great gift for a teen boy, young adult, young kid, something like that. I mean, legit, y'all. This is like if Bible characters were trading cards. We've got Aaron right here. Aaron can be found in Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, 4 books of the Bible. He was born around 1530 BC in Egypt. His name means mountain of strength, possibly. He was a high priest. Father, Aaron, mother, Jochebed, sister Miriam, brother Moses, wife Elisha, sons Neah, Bezman. His claim to fame, Israel's first king. But this, y'all, this is what I thought was amazing. This little blurb section right here. I love this. It literally bullet points some of his highlights, and then it breaks it down into his strengths and his weaknesses. For instance, weakness. He gave in too easy to a crowd. He was jealous of Moses and questioned his leadership, and he was disobedient at crucial times. Oh, horrible things for a priest. His strengths: he was a good speaker. He was appointed high priest by God. So he had a God-given leadership, and that God did miracles through him. So, he was 83 when he left Egypt. He died on Mount Har at the age of 123. Eleazar, yep, I'm not even going to try that game then. He was high priest. He was the tribe of Levite, the priestly clan, and he helped lead the people out of Egypt. Did you know that Aaron was used to begin the first 3 plagues of Egypt? Okay, so it looks like some may be just colors for 2 pages. Some, like Abel, have 1. Abigail. Abigail means my father rejoices. I know an Abigail. So she ends up being a wife to David because she actually stops a vengeful attack by making dinner. Never argue when hungry, and never underestimate what food can do for people who are irritable. Just saying. Normally they're just hangry. I'm normally hangry. I speak for myself. Normally I'm the hangry one, y'all. Abimelech. So some of these do not, Aaron's did, but some of them do not have the strengths and weaknesses. They all have claim to fames. They all have like little bullet points. Main characters. So for instance, Abraham now has strengths and weaknesses. His weakness, y'all. Sometimes he didn't always tell the truth. And he didn't follow directions well. That was Abraham, y'all. Adam. Adam. His weakness, y'all, is that he blamed others rather than taking responsibility of his actions. Sorry, I don't know why that's as funny as it is. And then he tries to hide his sin from God. The man, the being who knows everything. Oh, Ahab. Ahab's got a 2-page thing. Let's see. So some of them do have descriptors. Like Ahab is known as the king with 2 gods. Never a good thing. Adam was the first man on earth. Abraham, God's best friend. Abimelech was a bad brother. Absalom was in a hairy situation. Abigail, she was beauty and brains. And Abel, the world's first murder victim. Aaron, Moses' big brother. That's why he was a little jealous of Moses, y'all. Let's see. Andrew, the first disciple. Wolves in sheep's clothing. Anna, old and faithful. Let's see. Apollos was a bold speaker. Asa, mostly a good king. Mostly. So here you go. Did you know? Totally gonna be her. Athaliah, like mother, like daughter. The name means the Lord has announced his exalted nature. And do you know what her claim to fame was? She was the only ruling queen in the history of Judah. Husband was Jeroboam, king of Judah. Father, Ahab, king of Israel. Mother, Jezebel. So the fact that we've already got like mother, like daughter, we know she wasn't a good queen. Just saying. Sister-in-law, Jehoshabeath. When Princess Athaliah of Israel married Prince Jehoaham of Judah in an alliance formed between the 2 kingdoms, she set out to do in Judah what her mother Jezebel had done in Israel. Turn her husband and all of the people from worshiping the Lord to worshiping idols. Never mind, I'm not going to be her. Gonna be Abigail. Mm-hmm. She was literally executed at the end. Definitely not gonna be her. See? She had a shot. She blew it. Balaam, the prophet with a talking donkey. Bathsheba, mother of a king. Benjamin is known as Joseph's brother. Some of these are not the most original descriptions, y'all. Ah, Caleb, the original giant killer. Yeah. Cornelius, Sirius the Great, Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel, we get back to 2 pages. David gets 2 pages. David also has strengths and weaknesses. One of his weaknesses, he didn't discipline his own children. Fortunately, that's a weakness for some. Here we go. This one. She gets 2 pages. Look at this girl here. I'm going to be Deborah. Deborah. Strengths. No weaknesses. If this was a video game and we were playing, definitely the character to pick. Definitely. Her name means bee. She was a judge and a prophetess. She sat under a palm tree to deliver her judgments. And she has a sword. I want a sword. In a time when women did not generally hold high positions in society, she was the exception. She was a prophetess and a poet as well as a judge. People came to her all day with their problems to seek advice and judgment. One day she was called to a military commander named Barak, who told him he was to lead an army against the Canaanites who had been harassing Israelites. Y'all, it gets better. Barak was scared because the Canaanites had iron war chariots, and he said he'd only do it if she went with him. She was a bit annoyed with him and his cowardice, but she agreed and went into the battle at his side. Despite being outnumbered, God gave them the victory. Afterwards, she composed a song praising God for his faithfulness and power. Barak may have doubted God, but Deborah never did. Let's see. Jacob's hairy twin. Oh, look. Definitely Esther's another one on my list. She gets 2 pages. Strengths but no weaknesses. Yeah. She does look like a face that would win a beauty contest. Strengths. Beautiful and godly in character, wise and thoughtful, brave and selfless. Yes. Yes. Her name means star. And her claim to fame? She saved the Jewish race from a Holocaust. You know nothing, babe. Gabriel, angel meaning God's messenger. Gideon, Goliath made it in here. The big unfriendly giant. Haman, Hannah, Hezekiah, the Herods. There were the Caesars too. Hosea, Ishmael, Isaac, Isaiah, Jacob. Okay, she only gets 1 page, but I'm telling you, she doesn't have strengths, but she was persistent. Jael, literally, her claim to fame, she killed Sisera, the Canaanite commander, and helped bring the victory to Israel. How did she kill him? Y'all. With a tent peg. She let him lie down and covered him with a blanket. He asked for water. She gave him milk. The milk made him sleepy. She waited till he was fast asleep and then took a mallet and dragged a tent peg through his skull so that had to stick into the ground below. She then, in return, fulfilled one of our other ladies, Deborah's prophecy that the Lord would cause Sisera to be stopped by a woman. Y'all, I didn't notice it at first. Look at this. Look. In her hands. This is great illustration work. In her hands is a mallet and the tent peg. Yes. Let's see. Jeremiah is known as a weeping prophet, and I can tell you, look at those eyes. He has been weeping. I feel like we should have given Jesus more than 2 pages. Would also like to point out, though, all these strengths. He is sinless, perfect, miracle worker, raised from the dead, and forgave those who killed him. So forgiveness is one of Jesus' strengths. Just saying. I don't know why she gets 2. She does. She's strength, powerful, and decisive queen. Weaknesses, worship. Oh, Jezebel. Yeah, evil queen. So she did have a strength. She was powerful. Weakness, she worshipped pagan gods. Led her husband and Israel astray, committed numerous murders, and persecuted God's prophets. She killed them, too. This is a little joke. Job with a capital T from the Music Man. Trouble with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Right here in River City. John the Baptist was a mild man. John was the beloved disciple. Oh, the artwork in here also lends credits to what swallowed Jonah. I'm just saying. It absolutely makes so much sense. Basking shark! That's what that is right here, y'all, in case y'all didn't notice and you haven't watched enough Shark Week. Jonah, right there. It could have been a great white, just saying. Did you know that the whole body of a man in armor from the 16th century was once found in a stomach of the great white shark? Whole skeleton of the man in the whole suit of armor was found in a shark. I gotta see if there's pictures. So his strengths: devoted follower, prophet of the Lord, and a powerful preacher. His weakness: he tried to run away and was angry when God showed mercy. Let's see. Joseph's coat of many colors. Josiah, Judah, Judas Iscariot, Lazarus, Leah, Legion, Lot, Lydia, the seller of purple, Luke. Mary does get 2 pages. I may disagree with this. It rates her weakness as being unaware of Jesus' true identity and purpose, but I'm pretty sure that the angel told her that before she was pregnant. She may have didn't acknowledge it, but that would be reworded. Didn't acknowledge at first, because I believe she did eventually. She began to follow him. So, I argue that one. She does have a Home Alone moment when she accidentally left 12-year-old Jesus in Jerusalem after the Passover celebration. So true. Mary Magdalene gets 2 pages. Her weakness is that first she did not believe that Jesus rose from the dead. So okay, I get that. Mary and Martha. Martha's weakness: tendency to complain about having to do everything. Mary's weakness: tendency to not help out when needed. So Mary and Martha's weaknesses go hand in hand. They kind of were blamed, but they were each other's. Interestingly enough, Miriam only gets 1 page. Her brother's got 2. Michael, the warrior angel, button right there. Mordecai got 1. Moses gets 2 pages. Complete with some very interesting graphics of him splitting the Red Sea. I was like, it looked like there was something in here. I was like, what is in those waves? But there's him splitting the Red Sea. And we're in the ends. Paul, Peter, Pharaoh's in here. King of Exodus, that Pharaoh. I was like, there was multiple Pharaohs, but it's the one with Moses. Phineas was a warrior priest. And he stopped a plague sent by God. He was in charge of the gatekeepers of the tabernacle and also called the tent of meeting during the time of the Exodus. When the Israelites got involved with a nearby tribe of Mennonites and began worshiping pagan gods, God became angry. He demanded all idolaters be killed and struck the camp of the plague. Phineas, enraged by the way his people were acting, took up a spear and killed an Israelite tribal leader as well as the Mennonite woman he was with. This act stopped the plague. Y'all ain't behaving properly, that's what he said. Rahab gets 2 pages. Her weakness is that she's had a past. That is not a weakness. I also would like to argue with this. It's like she was a past and she didn't believe in God, but then she did. We all have past. I argue with that one. Did you know that the Bible also uses the name Rahab to refer to a mythical sea monster and to Egypt? Interesting. Interesting. Ruth, another heroine, if we were playing role casting, has no weaknesses, but she's loyal, compassionate, brave, willing to venture into a new land, and devout, believing in the Lord. So, there's that. It ends with Zedekiah. He gets 1 page. It doesn't really give you strengths and weaknesses for him, but that is Zedekiah. It does have Zacchaeus in a tree, and Zechariah the prophet, Zechariah the speechless priest. I guess I thought there was going to be one of the prophets in here, but no. Titus the troubleshooter, Timothy, Paul's spiritual son, Stephen the first Christian martyr, Thomas the doubter, Solomon the wise and foolish king. Let that be a lesson. And perhaps one of my other favorite ones, other than Jael with the tent peg and the mallet. Boom! It was the statue that they were supposed to worship was 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide. Did you know that? And so that was what was in my pastor's box and an extended view of what my favorite book is. It retails for only $20, y'all. Yeah, it's only $20. It's Juvenile Nonfiction Reference Encyclopedias, put out by Christian Standard Bible Holman Reference. So, I mean, for $20, this is a really great book. And I definitely recommend it for youth leaders, kids, Christian comic book aficionados. like this book and the graphics, and it kind of makes me I mean, it makes me want to play a PlayStation 4 Bible the game. I feel like these should all be characters that I can roleplay, and, you know, I don't want to be her. I want to be Abigail. And if I'm her and not Abigail, then dun dun dun. All right, guys, that's the Pastor's Box. Have a good night.